If you search for the top 4 countries based on their economy, you'll find the United States in first place, China in second, Germany in third, and Japan in fourth. But why? It's because of their GDP values. At present, the United States has a GDP of $30.19 trillion, China has $19.39 trillion, Germany has $5.01 trillion, and Japan has $4.27 trillion. So what is GDP? GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. It tells the final count of products produced within a border of country. Let us understand GDP with simple scenario. Let us imagine an island called X Island. It contains only 2 companies, an iron plant and an automobile company. Now, in a particular year, the iron plant produces 1 ton of iron and sets its price at $500,000. The automobile company needs iron as a raw material and buys it from the iron plant. In this transaction, iron is called intermediate goods. After buying the iron, the company manufactures 50 cars in the same year, each costing $100,000. Out of these, only 40 cars are sold in the market, and 10 remain unsold. The revenue from the 40 cars is $4 million, and the 10 unsold cars, valued at $1 million, remain as inventory. The total value of production for the year is $5 million, and this entire amount is included in GDP for that year, since GDP measures the market value of all final goods produced, including those added to inventory. You may ask why iron is not included in GDP. This is because if you add the price of iron, you would be double counting. It is already included in the car's final price. Adding it again would wrongly increase the value to $5.5 million. In the income method, GDP is calculated by adding wages, rent, interest, and profit. Let us take the same example of an automobile company that produces 50 cars and generates a revenue of $5 million. Now let us see the GDP calculation part for this using the income method. Let us assume wages to workers is equal to $1 million. Rent to landowners is equal to $500,000. Interest to lenders is equal to $1 million. Profit to entrepreneurs is equal to $2 million. Total of all equal to $4.5 million. You may wonder why it is only $4.5 million. Where is the remaining $500,000? It's because the iron plant produces goods worth $500,000, but iron is considered an intermediate good. We include it in GDP under the income method because we calculate the income of each individual industry. And the iron plant also generates wages, rent, interest, and profit. In the expenditure method, GDP is calculated using the formula GDP equals C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Here, C represents consumption, which means spending by households on goods and services for daily use. In our example, the 40 sold cars fall under consumption. I represents investment, which means spending by firms, and sometimes households, on capital goods that help produce future output. In our example, the 10 unsold cars are counted as inventory investment. G represents government spending, which means spending by the government on goods and services to provide public facilities. There is no government spending in our example. X minus M represents net exports, where exports are goods produced domestically and sold abroad, and imports are goods produced abroad and bought domestically. There are no imports or exports in our example. A cotton farmer sets the cotton price at $5 for his labour and land cost, where the value added is $5. That cotton is sold to a thread company. After buying the cotton, they produce threads from it. They set the thread price at $15, where the value added is $10, and then sell the threads to a clothing company. The clothing company produces jeans from the threads and sets the price at $30, where the value added is $15. In the value-added method, we add the value added by each industry to get the final GDP. In our example, the total value added is $5 plus $10 plus $15 equals $30, which is equal to the final price of the jeans. GDP can be expressed in two ways. One is factor cost and the other is market price. GDP at factor cost is the value of goods based on the cost of production, wages, rent, interest, and profit. GDP at market price is the value of goods based on the final price paid by consumers. It includes taxes and excludes subsidies. For example, under factor cost, one laptop costs $1,000, where wages are $200, rent is $100, interest is $200, and profit is $500. For the same laptop at market price, it costs $1,100 because taxes are $150 and subsidies are $50. In our X-Island example, in year 1, one car costs $100,000, which makes the total GDP $5 million. In year 2, one car costs $110,000 due to inflation, which makes the total GDP $5.5 million. In year 3, one car costs $120,000, resulting in a total GDP of $6 million. Here, the production of cars remained the same each year at 50, but the price of each car increased because of inflation. This is known as nominal GDP. In simple words, nominal GDP is the GDP that includes the effects of inflation. Where if you remove inflation from nominal GDP, you get real GDP.